use today's vernacular, Phil Pyrzenski of Harwinton was an early adopter. Growing up in nearby Terryville, he developed a love of Chevrolet's Corvette sports car.
Terryville at the time maybe had 7,000 people maybe at the most back then. And at one time it had 13 Corvettes in that town. Different guys had them, and I just fell in love with them.
In 1965, he bought one, a first-generation C1 model from 1962 with removable hardtop. He still owns it 54 years later.
It was owned by a school teacher in Middletown. He traded it in because he had he's getting married. His wife was pregnant, so he bought a '66 Chevy Impala Super Sport.
It's mostly original, too. Under the hood is a 327 cubic inch V8 engine.
It was originally a 300 horsepower car, okay? I had extensive engine work done. It's the original engine, but I have extension engine work done. It's probably close to 380 to 400 horsepower now.
The Corvette has a 4-speed manual transmission. While its interior looks immaculate, the exterior shows its age. The black paint job is severely checked.
Fiberglass moves, and these are all lacquer cars. Lacquer's hard, you know, and that's what happened.
He did consider getting it repainted, but to do it properly would be costly.
If you don't do it right, the value of the car is going to go down.
Pyrzenski's Corvette does have one feature that was a bit rare for the model in the early 60s.
This car's got power windows. They only made 900 cars in '62 that had power windows. So it's kind of unique in that respect.
Chevrolet introduced the Corvette in 1953. By 1962, the base price had risen to $4,038. Pyrzenski paid $2,200 for his. If he ever decided to sell it, he'd likely ask for $50,000.
It's worth what someone wants to pay you. It's just like a coin. You open up a coin book and it says this quarter is worth $50. It's not unless someone wants to pay you $50.
Maybe 25 years ago, he did consider getting rid of it. He was on a business trip and at a hot dog stand when someone came driving in his dream car, a 1937 Chevy Hot Rod. Fortunately, his wife Carol talked some sense into him.
This guy pulls in with this car, and I immediately fell in love with the car. It had, if I built a car, that's exactly what I would have done. Big block engine, black, mauve interior, air conditioned, I mean, just. And I started talking to him because I told him I was admiring his car. And going back and forth, and he said, yeah, he says, I've had it for a number of years now. He says, looking for a change. I said, you are? He said, yeah. I said, what are you going to get? He said, I really like a '62 Corvette. I said, you got to be kidding me. We went back and forth a little bit, and he pushed the issue really bad. He lived in Massachusetts. He wanted to come down, look at the car and everything. And that's what I told you. My wife said, you're going to be sorry that you did this if you do that, you know. And so she pretty much talked me out of it. She said, you got a lot of memories in the car about all that. And so I called the guy and said, nah, I'm not interested, you know.
Recently, Chevrolet came out with its newest C8 generation, the Corvette Stingray, that looks more exotic and features the mid-engine.
I think it's probably one of the most amazing cars that was ever built. I would love to just drive it. This is a stagecoach compared to what's out there today. I mean, you know, really. But back in its day, you'd say, wow, this thing handles. Well, geez, I mean, today, I mean, it's just, you know, what they had, the technology is amazing. But that car is just mind-boggling.
What does amaze Pyrzenski is that he's owned his Corvette for as long as he has.
If you know me, you'll see I don't have a lot of new things. We just keep stuff for a long time.
That's Ride Connecticut. I'm Bud Wilkinson, and please subscribe to Ride Connecticut's YouTube channel.